All right, James here from NBA Australia with our Week 7 power rankings of the entire NBA. That's right. We've got the NBA Cup in full swing, but these teams are not a part of that because they're on a butt. It's the Portland Trailblazers. What are you doing, Portland? They've been absolutely los horrible. They've been so bad, it's burn your eyes out gear. The Yaz, it's a soft J. They beat a team, Portland, the other day. It was 41 points, and they lost another one by 42. That's like an 80-point swing in 2 games. The Yaz are horrible. So are the Washington Wizards. Even though they beat Denver, despite Jokic having 56, they still stink because Jordan Poole's out there doing drowning in the pool bloody celebrations while his team is getting their head kicked in. They've won 3 games all year, Jordan. You can't be out here doing celebrations like, I just hit a 3. Look at my dance. Shut up, idiot. Just win some games. The Pelicans, they're just horrible. They lose Spindles Ingram as well to another injury at the worst possible time. It's like, how do we get better? We'll trade Brandon Ingram. Oh, he's injured. And where's Zion? He's like, I'm not eating a beignet right now. It's like, yeah, you are, Zion. We can see the beignet. Just stop eating. He's like, I'm not eating. He's like eating, shoving 3 more in his face. Zion, he's not coming back till January. They're cooked. The Pelicans are bad. They're now like, maybe we'll trade CJ McCollum. You're like, yep, great job, Pelicans. You've just done an awesome all-round job of stinking and being utter butt. Right. How about the bad, but they also suck tier? The Lakers are still here. But, Jim, they got to win this week. Yeah, against Portland, who are utter butt. Do you see how this works? They're just still bad. LeBron's now rumored to be traded. That's awesome. How would you be if you're Bronny? You're just like, Dad, where are you going? That has to be a package deal, right? If you trade LeBron, Bronny's like, Dad, can I come too? He's like, no, son, you can't. It's a tough business, the NBA. Anyway, trade LeBron to the Warriors. That'd be funny. Charlotte. They were in the bad but fun tier, but now they're just bad and they suck because they've got no dudes left. It's basically Brandon Spindles Miller and that awesome announcer going, oh, Brandon Miller! And like losing his mind. That's fun, but also wildly annoying and they suck. The Nets, they're just horrible. Like, It sucks. They're bad and they suck. And so do the Bulls. I love me some Josh Giddey, obviously, but geez. Can that team play like 1 minute of defense a game? Nah, Jim, we can't do it. Okay. All right, checks out. Bad but fun. That'll be the Atlanta Hawks. They've made the NBA Cup quarterfinals. Trae Young's about to go in an MSG. Who knows what's going to happen there? They're kind of fun, but they're also bad. Like, they're not good, but they are fun. So Detroit, same sort of vibe. They beat the Knicks the other day. That was fun as. They're also still pretty bad. The Raptors, they had Scotty Barnes back. They were fun. They were still pretty bad. Now they lose Scotty Barnes. They're probably just going to go back to bad and also sucking. But for the moment, we'll leave them in the fun tier. And the Spurs. This team, I don't know how to get a grasp on it. Like, Wemby does some cool stuff, and then he just goes, check this out. I'm going to shoot 0 from 7 from long range. And you're like, you're 7'40". Get closer to the bloody hoop, you idiot. What are you doing? He's like, I don't understand your English. And I'm like, you need to know more Aussies. The meh tier. This is a tier that's very specific because Phoenix, without Kevin Durant, are meh. Like, there's a very different meh versus meh. And like the Clippers are kind of meh. Like, they're good-ish, maybe, but they're also a bit meh because I don't want to watch the Clippers. You know? They're just like, oh, there's James Harden dribbling to Norm Powell and Zoobs, whatever. Whereas the Suns, when they're actually healthy, they're much better. But without KD, they're like 1-9. So they're very meh. The Sixers, they are the epitome of meh, right? It's like, hey, do you have all your guys healthy? And they're like, yes. It's like, I still don't care. Hey, look, it's a 7-foot bloody French giant man named Joel Embiid flopping. And you're like, oh, meh. And there's Paul George. Paul George, the like Michael Jordan of Tobias Harris's. I'm stoked to watch Paul George, said no one ever. The Pacers, they're just wildly meh as well. It's like, hey, what are you going to do today? It's like, I don't know, probably hit on Caitlin Clark. It's like, settle down, Tyrese Halliburton, bro. And he's like, nah, check this out. It's like, dude, just be good again. Meanwhile, they have the worst body language in the NBA right now and they stink. But at the same time, they're not that bad, but they're also not that good. They're just wildly meh. And obviously I already talked about the Clippers. How about the good, maybe-ish tier? This is a weird one. Golden State. They were good, then they were bad. Now they're kind of good, maybe-ish. I don't know. Their defense has dropped a bunch. Offense is still kind of a bit wobbly. Maybe they should trade for Jimmy Butler, question mark? How about that? The Nuggets. They were in the smash and tin stack and wins tier. But now they lost to Washington. You had to drop 2 tiers just for that because it's literally Atlanta and Denver are the only 2 teams that have lost to Washington all year. The Wolves, good maybe-ish. Why is that, Jim? Well, they had 1-4 on the trot. Then Ant-Man started talking. He's like, yapping at Golden State and then loses to Golden State. You can't do that. You've got to win the next game, Anthony. Do you understand how this works? He's like, nah, man, too busy having other kids. You're like, oh, can you stop doing that? And he's like, nah, can't do it. And the Heat, good, mate. What are they, 12-10? But now they want to trade Jimmy Butler? Good, maybe-ish. I don't know. They're like, we want to trade him to a contender. It's like, you're in the East. You're basically a contender if you can walk in a straight line in the East. That's how it works. The fun as hell tier. Look, we're going to pour one out for the Orlando Magic. They lose Franz Wagner, hello. But they might get Paolo Banchero back very, very soon, like for Christmas. What a present that would be for the Magic fan. Yeah, the single one that's out there. I love the Magic. Come on. They were fun as hell. They put up a massive fight against the Bucks in that NBA Cup game. I feel like they're going to drop a couple of tiers, though, until they get Ballo back. The Houston Rockets, they're fun as hell. They're chaos. I love them. I can't stop watching the Houston Rockets. They're awesome. They also drop stupid games every so often in very fun, entertaining, stupid ways. They're fun as hell, but they're not up there in the Smash and Tin Stack and Wins tier just yet. Memphis, they're like second in the West. They should be in Smash and Tin Stack and Wins, but they're also fun as hell. So I had a decision to make, and I'm like, we're just leaving them in fun. Because Ja Morant's like double pumping dunks over the Boston Celtics. It's sick. Let's go Grizzlies. I love them. And Sacramento, they just ran up 281 points in 2 games. That's fun as hell. Just have at it, sirs. Have at it. And obviously we mentioned the Magic. Yeah, just hurt your heart. It's like, oh, Paolo Banchero goes out. Oh, Franz goes off, goes all NBA, and then he gets hurt. It's like, what did you do, Magic Men? I mean, this is what happens, I guess, when you're founded on the Amway Empire. Pyramid scheme, anybody? No, alleged. Smash and Tin, Stack and Wins. That'll be the Bucks. They're just out there crushing it now. Dame Lillard, Middleton's back. Giannis is cruising. Off they go. The Mavs, they were smashed. They had the biggest win streak in the NBA until they ran into the meat grinder. These the Oklahoma City Thunder. They were looking pretty good. Their defense just couldn't quite contain the Thunder, could it? But they are still smashing tins and stacking wins. And so are the New York Knickerbockers of New York City. They have been a little bit better, a little bit more consistent. They dropped that stupid game to the Detroit Basketball Pistons the other day, but the Knicks, I'll tell you what, that was a big win they got the other day over the Raptors. Karl Anthony Towns just dropping threes, popping his chest. It's like, yeah! It's like, all right, you've got about as much aura as Jason Tatum, i.e. none, but that's pretty cool. Well played, Karl Anthony Towns. Then we've got the elite of the elite of the elite. Cleveland, Boston, and OKC. These 3 teams are untouchable at the top of the standings at the moment. Boston look awesome. They dropped that stupid game against Memphis. That wasn't a back-to-back. Sometimes you get that on the big jobs. Cleveland, they've had a couple of moments. They lost to Miami this week as well. And the Thunder, they've just looked like, even Charles Barkley's like, Shaq, I don't know, man. OKC, they're the best team in the West. It's like, yeah, they are. Do you think that's the first time Charles Barkley has actually watched basketball this year? He's like, I'll do a weekly NBA show, and this is the first time I watch basketball. It's like, on you, Chuck. Anyway, they are the 3 elite teams, and that is your NBA Australia Power Rankings for this week.